Tom Cotton is the king of dancing on the media's grave. I don't know. Again, I'm having trouble with metaphors today. Here's Tom Cotton on CNN this morning saying the Washington Post owes a certain Secretary of War an apology.
Admiral Bradley was totally justified in a decision he made. A decision, by the way, that was broadcast on multiple secure screens at the Pentagon in Fort Bragg, and that hundreds of people watched in real time with probably dozens of JAG lawyers. So what the Washington Post said last week was a complete lie. They owe an apology to Pete Hegseth, and especially they owe an apology to Admiral Mitch Bradley. He is a highly decorated career Navy SEAL.
So I said in the early days of this controversy that it was significant that Tom Cotton hadn't said a word because he hadn't, because of the sway he has. Well, now he's said both yesterday and then this morning, foursquare for Pete Hegseth, foursquare for the Pentagon. Case closed. Yesterday, Haima and Kristen Davison both said this story's done by the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you one caution if you think the story's dead. There's one person who hasn't spoken yet, who has what we call in Washington standing. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the very conservative, very Republican, very much chairman of the Senate Armed Service Committee, Roger Wicker. He was asked, "What's up, Roger Wicker? What do you think of what you saw and heard today?" And here's what he said, or rather didn't say. Number 12, please.
Are you concerned, though, what you saw in the video?
I'm going to withhold comment beyond the fact that we were briefed about very...
Did you see evidence of a war crime in that video?
I'm going to withhold comment, but thank you so much.
People from Mississippi are the most polite people in the world.
We also asked him, Kira, about those comments made by Jim Himes that you just played.
Off. People from Mississippi, very polite. People from Louisiana, number 2. Anyway, Wicker was a skeptic of Hegseth, has been a skeptic. And Chairman Wicker also, I don't know this, but you continue to see sentences, paragraphs down low in stories about this matter saying Hegseth has lost confidence of people on Capitol Hill. The Washington Post wrote a whole story about it. But other organizations continue to say there's disquiet about Hegseth among some Republicans on Capitol Hill. So, Haima, is Chairman Wicker a ticking time bomb here for Pete Hegseth? And this is, in fact, not over until the chairman sings or speaks. Well, and he's not fat. He's just the chairman.
No, the senator's lovely, and we have an office down in Mississippi, and some of my colleagues worked for him for a long time. So I've met him a few times. Yeah. Look, it's been a ticking time bomb all year, and he one thing about the senator, he speaks with conviction, and those words, even with no comment, were well constructed, and he thought about it. So he's never been a fan of the secretary. Even if he was a Democrat, I wouldn't be a fan of the secretary. And I think just because I'm just pro experience and he just doesn't have the experience for this job, I don't think. And the senator probably thinks that as well. He still has confidence of the president. And so until the president says otherwise, I do not think that this thing is going to be as bad for the secretary as the media and people are trying to make it out to be. The president is going to be with him. I just can't see the president evading him right now.
Larry, why is Senator Wicker silent?
I'd like to think that he's being restrained and senatorial and just being a grown-up in the room. He doesn't need to jump in front of the camera, unlike most of the people in the Senate.
But the camera's right there. Every other Republican, including Tom Cotton, has said, we saw it. It's all fine. Nothing to see here. Let's move on. Why won't Roger Wicker say that?
Listen, I saw the same thing you saw. I asked some of my sources and people who know both of these gentlemen pretty well exactly what you're asking. And the response I got was what Cotton said really does speak for the committee. And he has impeccable credentials, impeccable respect. And here's the other thing. No one thinks that Tom Cotton said what he said if he didn't actually believe it. Right? Yeah. I mean, Tom Cotton, he would not hesitate to criticize both Hegseth and Trump and the operation. Yeah. And so I think the agreement was, all right, Tom will be the point person on this, and the chairman is being restrained.
All right, TBD. Larry, what'd you say? TBD?
TBD.
Yeah, I agree with Haima, Larry. TBD. Don't assume. Let's see what the chairman says.
I've got more to say, but I'll save it for my winners of the week.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.